If you're a coach, freelancer, or agency owner, then this video is going to be an absolute goldmine for you, because last week I sat down with friend and PT Desi Fitness to work out exactly how she could acquire more clients and build her dream coaching business. Desi is absolutely killing it, but she is working incredibly hard and is struggling to find time to put in proper systems to acquire clients. We worked out exactly how she can improve her nurturing, her content systems, and her sales systems, all so she can work less and make more money while also delivering amazing client results. Get your pen and paper out, because there are some absolute nuggets to this, and please do excuse the slightly dodgy footage, as we did have a camera break within the session, but the value is still completely there. And if you can make it through to the end of this, you will know exactly how to set up a client acquisition system that is going to print you money and make you live the dream life you want out here in Dubai or in Bali or wherever you want. So enjoy the video and I'll see you at the end. Cool. So very keen to hear, to start off with, give me the overview of the coaching business.
Right, so the coaching business has been set up and existing now for about 6 months properly. So Desi Fitness Coaching, I'm now signing up clients from Bulgaria, the UK and America.
Nice.
I do have a presentation, I do have a structure in terms of my sales calls that I'm happy with. However, it goes to a point where I just really want to scale and I want to make sure that I have everything automated.
Okay.
And yeah, I'm signing up clients and everything is easy, it's ticking over, I've got ads running and etc.
So interesting. Okay, cool. To be very clear, just before we go into like the funnel, what is the transformation? So someone comes to you, Desi, where are you taking them?
So my niche at the moment is predominantly women that are wanting to lose weight, lost their confidence, women also that are entrepreneurs, that are busy, that are on the go. So learning to kind of live and navigate their weight loss journey through events, conferences, travel plans, and etc. So but it's essentially losing weight and toning up is the transformation.
Amazing. That is so useful. Okay, cool. Sounds, I mean, like from what I've seen from your content, like it looks like you get amazing results, which is so cool.
Thank you.
So how many clients are you working with right now?
I'm at just over 10 now.
Okay. And what is your time like right now? What is your capacity?
I've got all the capacity and time in the world.
Amazing. That's what we want to hear. Cool. Because I think like what's super important is to work out, if you told me you had 30 clients, then it would be a case of us needing to work out how we can, increase the value per client. But if you're like, I just need more clients, then that gives us a really good, okay. So effectively like bottleneck to start off with is just more clients. How do we get more clients? Would you agree with that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay. Anything else? Do you think that's the biggest bottleneck right now?
Well, I want to be confident and comfortable with the fact that when I am signing up clients, as I said, I don't spend a day or two onboarding them.
Lovely. Okay.
So yeah, I think that when I do, I'm holding myself back a little bit from signing and speaking to people, because with the pace that I'm going, it needs to pick up, if that makes sense.
Okay. So interesting. So you sign a client. Is one of your problems that you feel like it takes forever to onboard them and there's a lot of effort in that?
It takes 5 days of onboarding process and send a sequence of an email a day just to prep them.
Nice.
And then in the meantime, I work on the application. So I need to onboard them on the application. I spend a lot of time and effort into the meal plan, because it's very personalized based on what we discuss on our consultation call. And then I just want to make sure that it's right for them.
Amazing.
Because I've been working in the past with different coaches and even like mentorships where they just give you a very generic thing and it's not right. And you can clearly see that it's a copy and paste. I'm not about that at all.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah.
That's super cool. And this is what I think I always love about your content, is you clearly care about your clients, which I think is so cool, which I love that, because there's a big thing that I talk about, which is like results versus sales focus. And some people are like, I just need more clients. And actually what is going to survive your business in the long run is if people turn around and they're like, when I worked with Desi, she changed my life. She was amazing. So that's amazing to hear. So if we're talking about goals then, because we've kind of got, and I use this diagram to show, is like very simply, like this coaching model is just twofold, right? Like it's like, firstly, it's how can we bring new clients in? How can we increase this number? And then how can we improve, this is like service delivery. So how can we actually improve service delivery as well? So with yourself, obviously we've got acquisition, which will populate here, and we've got service delivery. Are any of your clients unhappy right now?
Not that I know of.
Well, that's amazing to hear. And I think exactly that was not like a leading question. I think if your clients are happy, then you're nailing this part, which is amazing. So my question is, if there's two things, we've got onboarding and then we've got service delivery.
Yeah.
So if we don't need to touch service delivery because you're already smashing it, which it seems like you are, then all we need to do is talk about onboarding, like getting clients in, like how do we get more clients in?
I think it'll be useful. Yeah, absolutely. I think it will still be useful to talk about service delivery in terms of that it's anything. I'm very big on improvements. I think like if there's anything that I can improve in that.
Love that.
We can definitely look into it. But yeah, I think ideally this number here, I want it to be 60 minimum.
Amazing. Okay.
So that's kind of where I'm aiming at.
Absolutely love that. Okay. You want this to be 60. Yeah. That is great. I love that. So yeah, I think because there's obviously 1,000 things, and there's like we both know as business owners, like it's absolute nightmare, right? Because there's so many things you can do. But I think it's super important just to solve the bottleneck, and like this might be, again, we'll get into it. This might be like, okay, it's 80%, we can get it to 100%.
Yeah.
This is currently at 14% of where you want it to be, right? So this is the big number we change.
Yeah.
This can be like future, right? Okay, 60 clients, super useful. So do you have capacity for 60 clients?
I do.
Amazing.
Capacity, okay. I'm happy to get help as well.
Lovely. Yeah, because like if you get 60 clients, dream situation, we get people that we know in Bali to come and help you, like all that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Okay. So for the next bit, let's talk about your funnel to getting, how are we going to turn this number into this number? Sound good?
Yeah.
Lovely.
Perfect.
Okay, lovely. This part we will come to later.
Okay.
So in terms of this, we'll actually go to this because this is like my pre-made thing. So in terms of how I see the sales process itself, is there are like 3 parts, and we'll go through, I'm keen to go into like each part of your funnel and what it looks like, and we can write it up there.
Okay.
But effectively it's like, how does the person find us? How do we convince them that they're the right person to work with us? And then how do we actually get them to be like, Desi, I'm going, let's go. So big, broad question is, what does the funnel look like now? Where do people find you? Where does everyone see Desi for the first time?
Well, annoyingly, it's Instagram. I do have a funnel, to be honest, but I don't think it's the best looking. I can show you, but
sure.
It's not the best looking piece of.
let's visually do it now. Like, just tell me what it is, and I can write out a nice little. So where is the first part that people see you?
I suppose they'll find me on Instagram. I do have YouTube now as well for long form,
cool.
Which is good. And we discuss different topics, which I think people can find really useful. So
nice.
I've got people like, hormone experts, emotional eating and psychologists and etc. So, yeah, I guess Instagram, Facebook. I do have a Facebook group and a Facebook page. I do have a closed WhatsApp community where people can get. It's a free group.
Okay, super interesting. So another way I like to ask this question, I like this. I think this works really nicely. Is for all of those 10 clients.
Yeah.
Even if you don't know exactly the figures, like the percentage,
yeah.
Where do you think most of them came from? Like, where did they first see? Where were they like, oh, I love your stuff?
Instagram.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Cool. That's great. I mean, it's great to have people who are viewing Instagram in the first place. Okay, they came from Instagram. Brilliant. Any from Facebook?
No.
Okay. Because the best thing is like, if we've got water flowing from one, like water coming to us down a river, we want to just not block that river, right? We want to just like widen the river. So that's like a good thing to start with. Is like, if they're all coming from Instagram, then we're like, okay, great, Instagram's good. You said you run ads as well. How is that like something you're putting time into, or not really?
Not really. I've ran 2 ads.
Fine.
And they're very, I think, amateurish looking.
Okay,
so,
nice.
Yeah.
And like, again, you think people came through through organic, basically, right?
Yeah, I'd say so. So I ran like a little giveaway, and on the back of it, I've had a few leads from Instagram predominantly. Nice. And then I kind of messaged them, got onboarded. So that was the initial number. And then a few recommended me from working with me for a couple of months. And then I got a few more onboarded that way.
Okay, that's really cool. So you got referrals coming in now.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. And I do have a little referral incentive as well. We can touch on that.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Amazing. So are you like, is that a financial incentive for your current clients?
Yes.
Okay, very cool. That's great, because I was shocked with this as well as me. Like I reckon your next 10 clients are people you know, or people you know, right?
Yeah.
And that's fascinating, because people think like the hardest thing is to find someone who has no idea who you are and turn them into a client. The easiest thing is to find people who know who you are and already trust you as a human being, right?
I do think that I haven't exhausted my options. So for example, when we're touching about Instagram and Facebook, so I do think that there's a lot on my Instagram that are warm leads that I'm not converting yet into paying clients. And I do think that with Facebook as well, there's so much potential. And to be honest, like Bulgarian, I'm not focusing as much on Bulgarian clients.
Sure.
But I do think that I also shouldn't be neglecting them, because Facebook is a big one for like Bulgarian people in general are more on Facebook. And I have even a lot of people that don't even have Instagram, but they're all very active on Facebook.
Okay, interesting. And obviously, like we said we weren't going to get like deep into the numbers, but in terms of like your price point, I remember you saying to me price point is different.
It is different. It's much lower.
Okay.
Yes.
And how do you feel about that?
I feel like it's good. I think that it's good for testimonials, and I think it's good for transformation, because with my Bulgarian clients, they're so like, I think it's like the culture as well. They're so on it.
Cool.
And they follow everything so strictly, and I get the best transformations.
Amazing. Okay. Lovely. Because I mean, I guess it's like we've got in these countries alone, there's like 400 million people. So we've got a lot of people to play with. But I'm the same as you. Like I take on some clients that, like for one of my programs that is it's a lot cheaper of an investment, and then I have like my higher ticket program, and this like the higher ticket is I guess these options for you, right? And they make more money. But if this is super fulfilling for you, then like why are we doing business in the first place? Like to be fulfilled. So it is really your choice as to where we go. Like it's working out where the Bulgarians come from, where the people in the UK and the US come from, and do you want to keep this tap open, or do you want to shut this tap off, make more money, but then potentially you enjoy working with the Bulgarian clients? How do you feel about that?
From what I hear in terms of other online coaches and how they do it, is they have a high ticket and they have a low ticket, and they do the low ticket through a platform called School.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, why not do? It doesn't have to be School, because I don't think that Bulgarians would know how to navigate their way around it. But I'm thinking maybe like even a Facebook separate group for them, because as I said, Facebook is huge.
Yeah, I love that. Okay, cool.
And just do a low ticket where I just get, I get them on board. I don't mind using the app as well if they find it useful.
Nice.
But yeah, I don't want to necessarily shut this off.
Great.
Yeah.
Amazing. And I think that's so cool, like to have we can have a low ticket and we can have a high ticket. And if someone from Bulgaria is in your low ticket but wants to pay for your high ticket, then great. Like that's amazing. But you still get that like fulfillment from that part. So that's cool. Because I think we just then want to split up how that number looks like.
Yeah. I'd say I still want to keep the 60 high paying clients.
Amazing.
And I want it to come from the UK, US, and Australia even. I think that with Bali time it works quite well. And then I would ideally want to have 30, 40 low ticket price point Bulgarian clients.
Perfect.
And I think this is a much more sustainable business than what I currently
100%.
have.
So the first thing that I would say about the high ticket versus low ticket is I had a school community, 280 people in it. Like it worked nicely. The problem you get is if you do two things, it's like the phrase that Alex Hormozy always uses, which is like one channel, one product, one solution solved. And that's really important, because if you create a high ticket and a low ticket, you're going through different channels. you're marketing on different places, you've got messages all over the place, and it will become a nightmare to do both. What I would recommend, and keen to chat about this, is I would recommend focusing on this one to start off with.
I agree, actually.
Because actually that, like, let's get you into a really stable place. And then what you can also do is you can build a low ticket offer, which allows you to then upsell people to this offer. So you kind of build the one that makes you money, gets you a load of stability. You hire people out to help you with this. No, it's not how you spell hire, but we hire people out to do that. That's my dyslexia coming in. There you go. We hire people out for this part.
I was wondering.
And then we can go backwards and be like, okay, we can make a low ticket. So does that resonate?
Yeah, but a question I have for you is, when I do try to sign up, let's say a high paying client, and they, for whatever reason, say, oh, I can't afford it,
Sure.
Do I then have a low ticket price point for them to accommodate for the fact that, okay, well, you can't afford the full, coaching price, but why don't we sign you up for?
I love that. So this is a debate that I've been having with a few people I'm working with, is do you have a downsell? There's two problems that I find with downsells. Is first, they cannibalize this offer. So by having a lower ticket, people go, oh, I know Desi has one which is a lot cheaper. So maybe they would have signed up for this one, but then they're like, okay, actually, I'm just going to sign up for the lower ticket one because it's easier to do.
Yeah.
The second thing is your sales rates. Like, if you jump on a call, you should only really be taking on like 1 in 3 clients from your sales calls.
Okay.
And if your sales calls rates are higher than that, you don't have it's not expensive enough.
Okay.
So I would say don't fear losing clients if they can't financially afford you now, because you know that in the future we can build this, that they'll join. But right now, the second thing that I was going to say is, as you said, like, the first thing is cannibalization. The second thing is just focus your time on filling this, making this number 60, because this is what's going to make, this is going to bring the income, right?
Yeah.
This one is going to take disproportionately a lot of time from the money you'll make from it.
Yeah.
Because these clients, they want results, they've paid money, it hurts a little bit for them to pay money.
Yeah.
Whereas these clients, it's more of like a monthly subscription that, they can just forget about.
Yeah.
So you get the best testimonials from here, you get the best results, and they're probably the most fulfilling clients to work with, because they're the ones who are like, okay, this hurt a little bit to actually spend money.
Yeah.
I want to like make the change. I want to lose the weight. I want to tone, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
How does that sound?
Yeah. Good.
Nice. So it's like shiny object. It's like, yes, low tickets are great, but from everyone I've spoken to in the space and from my own offer, I found that just accepting some people can't afford your high ticket offer, just say, that's amazing. I wish you the best of luck. Like, I would love to help you with all my free content, which is all of this that you put out there.
Yeah.
And if you ever want to work with me directly, then you know where I am. And that's like a cool thing to have.
Yeah.
So that like 30% sales rate is super important, because when 70% of people will come on your calls and it will be like, oh, I'm sorry, that's not a good fit. Last night I had the exact same thing. Like, some guy super keen was a dead yes, just couldn't afford it. And I said, look, like, this is how much I think I'm worth. And you can watch my hundreds of hours of YouTube videos to get advice, but like, don't like come back to me next time if this is right for you.
Do you think it's right to send a form before you get on a call with them? I know that some people do, where they fill in like, what is your financial situation at the moment? Where can you afford?
100%.
Do you do that yourself?
100%, because there's 2 reasons why it's really important to have a form before your sales call. Is first, it's important to actually recognize if they are financially in the position to afford it. But the second thing that I found with that form is it preps them that they're going to be spending money. Like, the amount of time someone drops on a call and they're like, oh, this is not £10. Like, this is actually an investment of mine.
Yeah.
And it makes them think, oh, like, I'm actually going to have to invest if I want the result that I want to. Like, Desi's time is not free. Sol's time is not free. And that's really good. And like, I can send you over the form that I use, but it's like a Calendly, and before they book in the Calendly, they have to fill out a load of questions. That really helps with the sales process. So like, when we get there, like, I'll explain all that, but basically it's super, super important to qualify people. And as I say here, like, utilize software when I say utilize software, that's filling out a form before.
What software do you use?
So I'm mixing between two, but I use Calendly right now.
Okay.
And Calendly is really great because it you basically just fill out the form and then you can see the form they filled out. And then
how does that work? I wasn't aware that Calendly's got.
It's super useful. So you can just put in. You can also do it for Google Calendar as well. Like you just get them to fill out forms, and then when you see a call come in your diary, then it's like, okay, great, call in my diary. I can check. And if they filled out the form and said, I'm not ready to invest in myself right now, you just send them a message and go, thanks so much for booking a form, but we won't do this meeting because this is my business, and say it in a really nice way. But that saves a lot of time for you, right?
Of course, yeah.
So that's what I recommend. So we'll get onto that. But the whole point of this part is we can work out how, when we get to this point, everyone who fills out that form is going to be someone who's like, yeah, I'm ready to drop money. I'm happy to do that. Because if you get problems here, it tends to be because this part and this part has not been optimized enough.
Mm-hmm.
Does that resonate?
Mm-hmm. With sales, would you say that I need to have a strong SEO? And do I need to create, as I said, is it important to have the website? Is it important to have the funnel? Is it important to...
So funnel, super important. Website is just an aspect of that funnel. And I would say website is not important. I would say that there are other ways that, like, your Instagram is your website, in my view. Like, people are clicking on your Instagram and they find information about you, they find your value. Like a website is good as a bit of it kind of shows you a bit of authority, but in general, like a website, I wouldn't say that important. I wouldn't fuss too much about that. Funnel, on the other hand, is super important because effectively, like, what we have is we have these parts. So we've got touch point. This is where they find you. This is where we get all the eyes. We get like 1,000. I don't know. One of your reels, 10,000. How many followers you got? Like 11, 12,000, something like that. So you've got 12,000 followers, which is sick. There's 12,000 people up here, and there's even a greater, like, I don't know how many views do you get a month, roughly, like, what's your reach?
I'm not sure.
12,000, let's just say it'll probably be like 100k, right? So you probably get like 100k, then they come 12k, and then 12k, it's like, okay, 12k people follow you, but there's only probably a certain amount of people who are like your busy working women who want weight loss and toning. So let's say that, I don't know, 1%, that's 1k. So right now on your Instagram, you're nurturing 1,000 people. And then when it comes to sales process, it's probably like 100 people who are ready to buy. So like even 100 people are ready to buy, if we can get all of them to buy, we're laughing at this number.
Yeah.
But the whole point of this is how can we turn this 12k number, make this number as big as possible, and then make this number as big as possible.
Yeah.
So there's nothing wrong with Instagram organic. Like that's how I built my business, just fully off Instagram organic. Referrals is the easiest way. Like if we look here, right, so the initial touch point comes from, there's 4 ways that it comes. Outbound, so us messaging them first. Our network, so like referrals, organic, and paid ads. Currently, I mean, you've got 12k followers, like that's cool, right? Like that's very cool to have. The easiest way to get people is this one, referrals. That's the easiest way, and it's great you've got an incentive scheme to set up. So I'd say in terms of order of priority, this is number 1, this is number 2.
Okay.
In terms of Instagram and referrals. The ads is good, but you obviously you have to put money into that, right? So that is the other thing. So far, how a good metric of how well this one, I think you've got, how comfortable you feel with referrals? Like, do you feel like you've got a good system set up in place?
I wouldn't call it a system, no.
Okay.
I would just say that I just remember from time to time, for example, with December was a really good way to be like, hey, if you've got somebody who you think like in January is wanting the transformation, send them my way.
Sick.
And that I said that to my clients, and then 2 new clients came from that.
That's so cool. So first thing is, again, keep the tap open there. So just regularly just have, the best way to do this is when you onboard someone is to ask them straight away, by the way, you've just invested in me, but you can make a load of money back because you can straight away refer someone else.
Okay.
That's a really great way to do that. So when you onboard someone, within the onboarding emails that we spoke about, just chuck in a little link which says okay, if you have a friend and you'd like to like get on this weight loss journey with a friend, like that's a great sell, right? If you were to do it together with someone. So that would be the first way, because this is the easiest way to acquire a client. Second way, like, so a good metric of, I think, so if we do that, then that's going to take care of that part, right?
Mm-hmm.
Second part, the Instagram, this is, as you say, there's already water flowing through this way. How can we get more people through Instagram? So the question of that is like, how many messages, are you getting messages from random people? Like, what does your Instagram look like?
All over the place, to be honest with you.
Great, let's talk about it.
I'm not happy with it, so I was kind of showing it to another online coach, and he said like you need to organize your mailbox, like the inbox, the general.
Mm-hmm.
You need to have like a structure in terms of every new follower. Do you message every new follower that comes in?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Fine.
Yeah. You need to be having regular conversations with people. Which is not really the case every single day, to be honest.
Sure. And why do you think that is? Is that a time thing? Is that just you don't know that you should be doing it, which is both fine?
I think it's like, I don't know. I don't necessarily know how to handle the conversation.
Okay.
And I don't want to be salesy at all.
Sure.
So I kind of hold myself. You know, like your brain tells you this is new. I don't know how to do it, and then I'm kind of
basically. Completely understandable. Like, don't get me wrong. I think when someone follows you and you're like, okay, I'm texting you, but like I am at the end of the day trying to sell you something. It's weird. The thing that helped me with that mindset of like not selling to people is like, I truly believe in my offer that I will take someone to the dream state they want to be. I believe that I can get someone earning loads of money from their coaching and freelance product and live a life in Bali with us, like having a great time. Mm-hmm. So I believe that when I message them, if I can get them on a sales call and I can convert them to a client, their life will be dramatically improved. Mm-hmm. If you believe that as well, and I think you do, right? Like you've had amazing client results, then that message changes from a sales message to like I want to help you because I know that if we work together, I can change your life.
Yeah. Now, I do remind myself of this as well. So this is exactly what happened to me with mind transformation. And I keep referring back to it. I'm like, this is why I quit my corporate job at JP Morgan. This is why I travel the world now, because fitness has changed me so much to actually have the self-confidence ability. So I do wholeheartedly believe that it can do that for other people. And this is what I think the self-belief will come in from the low ticket to the high ticket and me kind of positioning myself there.
Interesting. So that like I actually do agree with that. I think that to a certain extent. But this is your self-belief.
Right.
This like you don't by saying this is a self-belief, you're basically just saying like this isn't enough. 10 people have trusted you to make the transformation of your life. Like that's sick. That's sick. 12,000 people like you online. 10 people they earn money, they work every day, and they decided to spend that on you. Yeah. That should be the self-belief. Like, pretty cool, it's amazing. 10 people are like paying their money to work with you. That's so cool, right? So, as always, like I always find like there's a bit of like you're in such a good position with everything. Like you've got a great following, you're working with 10 people. That's self-belief. Like you're smashing it already. But the next step is like, as I said, how can we just put 6 instead of 1 on that number? Don't change anything you're doing from this. This is everything you need to prove that you're smashing it. We just need to get more of them, basically. Like,
rinse and repeat, right?
Exactly. Don't change anything that you're doing right now to get those 10. We just need to work out how to optimize the way you've got that 10, and as you said, systemize and scale that part. If you were coming out with 0, this part would be rubbing out and we'd be going like we're back to the drawing board. But right now, because we're at 10, we should keep doing the same thing. Okay. So that's why I point to this, because I'm like, okay, referrals have already got your clients. Let's keep going with referrals. Instagram has already got your clients. Let's keep going with that. This and this, they're shiny objects. They're like, if they're not working now, then why bother doing it? Because we've already got 10 people who have come in through this way.
I guess I haven't really tapped into it to know whether it's working or not.
True.
I haven't really spent any time on like going for Facebook groups
True.
and I'm part of so many.
Yeah,
So many.
which is great, but like you could also be part of school communities. You could also walk around Bali in the middle of the street and try and find clients, right? Like there's 1 million ways that we can find clients.
Yeah.
But if the tap is running here and here, just keep going for that, right? So if you were telling me like I need to lose weight and I had done something, I'd use your program for a week, would you change that program or would you keep it the exact same?
Yeah, keep it. Yeah.
So let's not change anything. Yeah. Let's do the exact same. So the question is like, how can we keep doing this? As we spoke about, that I think that's locked in. Just keep asking people, keep like asking people on that onboarding. That is going to bring you easy clients, but it's not going to be a lot because unless each 10 clients bring in 6 people, like it's unlikely that we're going to get a load of clients on this. And that's then why we do Instagram. So there's Instagram organic, which like 12K is great. Like I've been posting for a year and a half and I'm only at 7K, right? So like you're smashing it in terms of social media. The question is, you've got a big enough audience in here that, as you say, there is money sat in your DMs right now. We don't need to go into the wide world right now and find more people. We can at least double our client base with your current following.
I think so, yeah.
So then, they're all in our Instagram following and dotting around here right now. They're swimming around, they're on Instagram. How can we get them into this next phase of the funnel, which is how can we turn them from a follower of Desi that's coming through organic into them being nurtured?
Yeah.
A few ways. So the first thing is basically this is what I call the content ecosystem, but effectively like give them as much nurturing content as possible. So like why, and the great way to do this is again to go back to the tap. Why do you think, when you had those followers come to you, why did they turn to, like, why did they then engage with you? What made them message you?
I was going to ask you this, right? Because on the back of the other webinar session that I did last night, honestly, when you look at my content, what emotion do you feel?
I love it. Well, the first thing is, my opinion should not matter because I'm not a niche, right? So if I think something about you, if I hated your content, that could be a good thing.
Right.
So, and I'm not saying I do hate your content, but like, if I loved it, that also could be a bad thing because you're resonating with the wrong sort of people.
Yeah.
What I would say is the one thing that I've seen from your content is you could be more specific and targeted towards the problems of women.
Yeah.
Because what I do feel when I see your content is I'm interested by it. And I should listen to your videos and go, I have no idea what she's talking about. Like, I'm not a woman who is like a busy working woman who needs to lose weight. I should be like, that doesn't resonate with me at all.
Yeah.
And this biggest shift that I've got is like, I'm posting all these videos to keep my mates happy, to engage my mates, to keep you happy. Don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Just post things. And the most tangible example I can say of this is, I know that my ICP, like people I work with, they get on the tube on a Monday morning and go to, like we've both done, they get on the tube on the Monday morning and they just dread the thought of getting into work. And I'm so specific about saying that in my videos that people like who live in Bali, they go, what do you want about? But people who get on the tube every morning and go, oh my God, I can't do this. They go, oh my God, that speaks to me. So how in your content can you speak more to your ICP? That's the biggest thing that I would say about your content. How you should get to the point where I'm like, I want to unfollow you because I'm like, this is so irrelevant to my life.
James Smith talks about it, right? From time to time, he will say something extremely controversial, something that is extremely just out there for a specific group of people, and he gets thousands of people following him. Yeah. And rather than to be pissed off and annoyed, he's actually celebrating it because he says, like, this is what I'm doing deliberately, unfiltered.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. And one thing that broke my belief in this is that I posted a video which got like 3 times less than my normal view count of a video.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, it's underperformed, like complete waste of my time.
Yeah.
I had 2 clients drop on sales calls and tell me that video is the exact reason they onboarded with me. And that broke my belief of like...
So this is exactly like narrowing it down and niching it down, isn't it?
100%. And the fact you could tell me this to start off with is brilliant because you've got your niche, we've got the person that you want.
But do you think that that's specific enough though? Because I don't think it is.
I think this is specific enough as what their life looks like. The busy working women who want weight loss and toning, what you need to do is niche down on the language that you're using. Like, this is great, but when you say they're busy, what do you mean they're busy? Are they busy with their 9 to 5 job? Are they busy with their kids? Are they busy with like their relationship? What is the busyness? Like, why are they busy? And then what does their life look like when they're busy? When they're busy, are they like they have no time for anything? Are they busy because they're stressed? Are they busy because they have to get on the tube every morning? Like, what is their busy, right? And for me, I was like, 9 to 5 that hate their job. Why do they hate their job? They hate their job because they're unfulfilled. They hate their job because their boss treats them like a piece of shit. Then you start hitting the niche because that's the specific problems they have. I'll give you a worksheet, which is like an amazing worksheet, which basically takes you through like, all of the pain points that they have. Like, what is their emotional struggles? What are the problems that they have?
Yeah.
What is their lifestyle? What is their like? What do they think and feel? And once you can fill out that sheet and you can see the human being in front of you, that's when you've got like a proper niche.
So every time you create your content, you have a specific person in mind that you're talking to.
I feel like I'm talking to me or you while we were both in the corporate world. I imagine me or you on the other side of the camera.
I like that.
And I always think like, would this resonate with me or you there? And if not, not good video to be making.
That's interesting because you can use your own experience, right? So you can talk to your mini you from 5 years ago, and what is it that they needed to hear when it comes to fitness, when it comes to business, when it comes to.
But the question is your version mini you? I don't know. Is that the case?
I think so.
Okay.
The ideal customer and client.
Yeah.
I guess I can't resonate with mums as much, but.
Because that's fine. I see. There's male PTs we both know male PTs who specialise in women's weight loss, right?
Yeah.
They can't resonate with it being their old person, but they still hit the exact pain points that person has.
Right.
So it's possible to not speak to mini you because mini you probably wouldn't have been able to invest in yourself, right? Like, or maybe would have been able to invest in yourself, but like, is it a mum? Because that's what you're going to ask. Is it mini you, or is it you in 20 years' time? Or is it just nothing to do with you, and it's just a human being, is one of your clients that you're working with right now, and that's your ideal customer?
I mean, selfishly, I'd love to work with ambitious, driven women. And again, I look at myself, and 5 years ago, let's say, I'd love to work with these type of people that they know that they have something in them that is, but they don't know how to utilize it, they don't know how to express it, they know that they're stuck in something, as you said, like a job that they don't like and enjoy, and they want to be pushing, maybe they want to be traveling, maybe they want to be starting their own business. And I think I can resonate with that because I've been there, and I've been like, going to the office, crying my eyes out, and thinking like, what the hell am I doing here? And then finally having the courage to be like, okay, well, it's time. Like, I need to push myself and figure out what is it that I need to enjoy it. So I think I would love to work with these type of women because I would just resonate with them so much. And I think, what they say is you have to speak from experience. You can't be telling people something that you haven't done yourself.
Amazing. I love that. So then, like what you're saying is age is not the issue here, because you could have niches of people that don't actually have a certain age, but they share like a problem set, and that's perfect. The problem set is they're super ambitious, they want something more, but they have a problem with weight loss and they want to tone. And that's the problem, that's the shit problem. So like,
that starts from me, right? If you don't feel good in yourself, you're not going to show up to the way that you want to. And I know that feeling very well because you pick yourself apart in the mirror every single time. So
Great. So pick yourself apart in the mirror. Perfect marketing language. I know that sounds almost businessy and salesy, but like, as opposed to say, are you someone who wants to lose weight? What you're actually saying is, do you wake up in the morning and and go to work? You're super ambitious, but you just look in the mirror and you're like,
I can see how you're shaping it,
And that means that someone's going to be watching your video and go,
that's me.
I need to do that.
Do you know what's really funny? So I follow this, anyways, I'm not going to say names, but I follow this girl, and I just landed on her page. She started talking about a pain point, and it was I just felt like exactly what you said. She was talking to me specifically, and she was so good at what she was saying. I was like, how does she know how am I doing it exactly? Crazy. And I ended up signing up, and I ended up working with her.
No way, that's so cool. And was that in fitness or in business?
No, it was in kind of completely different.
Nice. But it's fascinating that happens, and since changing my content, even last night, two sales calls last night, and they said they jumped on a call with me, and they said the only reason they jumped on a call with me said every word that I said, they just resonated. And some guy said his girlfriend sat next to him and while he was watching a video of me, and the girlfriend said, "This is you. This is ridiculous. Yeah, he is just speaking to you right now." And that because I nailed down my content. So going back to this funnel, it's super important to nurture people. People will move into this stage of the funnel because they're like, "Desi gets me. This is exactly what I'm talking about."
So we need to tap in, I need to tap into emotion a lot more.
Correct. Specific emotion. And that just comes from like scripting these videos. Like it's a really simple thing of just going through your script and just being like, have I said something generic or have I said something really specific? Mm-hmm. And that's all it is. It's just changing the frequency in that. And that is going to be one of the levers that we can pull to get people as like, oh, I'm following Desi because I saw a reel, or I'm following her, to being like, oh, she really speaks to me. And then we go to the next stage. But just keeping in this stage, we need to bring people from like a touch point of ours to being like, Desi's the person that I want to start working with.
But then again, every piece of content that I release now, would it need to be all the same, or do I need to be mixing and matching? So because some people come to me because they're like, oh, I find you really inspirational.
I love that. So there's 3 types of content.
Yeah.
There's teach content. There's share content. There's teach content. Yeah. And there's show content. So share content is your life. The reason people will find you inspirational. Like you quit JP Morgan, you moved to Bali, you're doing your own weight loss journey, like all of those things, that's share content. That's when people go, Desi's great, I love Desi, she's a person that I really resonate with. Mm-hmm. Teach content, and this goes down this funnel here, right? Share content is like, teach content, is basically showing like, does Desi know actually what she's talking about when it comes to weight loss? Like do I resonate with what she's saying about weight loss and toning? Does she provide value? So this share content is just sharing your life. Yeah. This teach content is saying like, here are 3 ways that you can snack and lose weight. That sort of content, right? Mm-hmm. That is when you're like, okay, I'm now someone who's not only resonating with her, I now resonate with her mission and the value that she provides. Mm-hmm. Then the last part is show content, and show content is showing people that when you teach them when you're teaching them the value, they're like, okay, she knows what she's talking about. Show content is, I need to work with her to get that value. Show content is like, Desi is the person that is going to basically show me exactly what I need to do to get to that goal. Mm-hmm. And teach content is value. Show content is like client results, client testimonies, your own journey. Can she do what she says she can do? Does she actually get results? Yeah. And that is how we get people down to the sales part. So that part there, just make sure we brush over that, is we've got loads of followers, but to give you very tangible action things, we want Instagram, we want to speak to our ICP, then we want to do teach content to nurture people. That brings people into this part of the funnel. The basic ways to do that is this content ecosystem, is the basically like posting a YouTube video, then posting an Instagram video, then posting like on TikTok, then getting people going round and round like this. Mm-hmm. You're nurturing them. You're basically saying like value. Mm-hmm. Then the way to move people from nurturing to sale, the way to move people like this is to work out who these people are. There's a few ways to do this, but the main ways that I like doing is 1, a lead magnet. Mm-hmm. Lead magnet. Yeah, nice. It's not awful. A lead magnet. The second way are under the lead magnet we have like free calls. We have resources, mm-hmm. which like you already do parts of that, right? Like you already have the lead magnets, but mm-hmm. it's basically like we've got all this like all these eyes on us, is working out like what eyes are actually engaging us, what eyes are interesting. One of my favourite ones I actually did last night is polls on my Instagram story. Like who just put the question in like, are you a woman who, like a busy working woman who wants to lose weight? Or like I don't know. What's your biggest problem with your weight loss journey? Anyone who clicks on that poll is someone who's in this part. If they're not, they won't click on the poll. But if they're in this part, then they're engaged.
Yeah.
Polls are really good. What else do I use? Polls, calls, resources, lead magnets. And then, follows are a great one as well. Just touching base and messaging people. So starting conversations with your DMs, basically. We're losing the pen. But starting conversations with people who are in your audience. Like I've got the most amazing thing that I found when someone reached out to me and I was like, okay, I think I just sent them a message. It might not be on here, but maybe it's not on it. But basically I had like a situation. Oh no, it's here. No, it's not. That's my funnel. I basically had a situation where someone messaged me and like asked to engage with me. And I just messaged him being like, hey, like great to meet you. And I turned them from someone who just followed me into a client because I just messaged them and I just brought them into my ecosystem. I showed them that I had a bit of value and they sent me a message, which is like, I've been watching your stories, I've been watching your videos, when can we book a call? And I was like, that was like just crazy because that was like proof.
How many conversations do you have with that person before they said let's get on a call?
5 messages.
Okay.
So
and they don't follow you for how long?
They followed me for like a week. And I sent them a message at the start. They watched a week worth of story and content, which is why it's just great to be taught. And she must have been sitting there and like I was talking to her pain point every time. And then without me prompting anything, she just sent me a message being like, let's book on a call, I want to get involved.
Have you heard of this 7
touch points?
7-11-4?
Yeah. So I think it's so fascinating. Google did that research.
Yeah.
It basically says people need like to watch 7 touch points, 11 hours of content, and 4.
So 7 hours of consumption, 11 interactions, and 4 platforms.
Amazing. So cool.
They can go and check on YouTube, they can check on Instagram,
I love that.
And they're like, okay, I can trust this person, and then they
Sure. All of my clients seem to send me LinkedIn requests, which is so weird. But that's one of those 4 touch points. And I did not expect that.
Somebody I met, another online coach that I met the other day, she said to me, like, are you utilising LinkedIn? And I said, no, I used to be a recruiter. I have an enormous amount of following and like connections on there. But then I always think of it as like banking, investment banking, everything I've done.
Yeah.
I'm thinking like, how do I turn it around into business?
I would say LinkedIn's good, but I don't, again, the tab. Instagram, stay on Instagram, but just have a profile on LinkedIn that shows you who you are. Spend 10 minutes on it. Just do that. Like no one interacts with me on LinkedIn. No one looks at me on LinkedIn. Okay. No one looks at my posts on LinkedIn. But they all just send requests because what they're doing is they're going, I love Sol's Instagram content. I love Sol's YouTube content. I want to check he's a real human being, so I'm going to Google him or maybe look at me on LinkedIn. They then see like, oh, he's a real person who's lived a life. He's gone to school. He's gone to university. I'm going to check him out on LinkedIn, and then they go for that, and that's fascinating to me. So that would be like that's just the example of the 4 touch points. That it's just super important to just have like a LinkedIn profile.
Yeah.
But again, this can be massive shiny object syndrome where you like, oh, maybe I should start posting on LinkedIn. Maybe I should start posting on Blue Sky. Maybe I should have all these like different things.
Yeah.
Just keep this tab open for now, and when we get a team and when we build this bigger, you can then start doing other platforms. But there's only a certain amount of time in the day, you can't do everything.
Yeah.
And it's better just to nail this and keep this and widen this river than it is to start opening new rivers, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So yeah, basically the nurturing comes here. All of these we can use. Conversations are amazing, polls are amazing, and then anyone who signs up to like a call or a resource. So I do a resource which is like, I'm giving 5 free roadmap calls to people. I put on my story last night. I got 25 calls booked in from that, 20 calls booked in. If you just said, I'm looking for busy working women who want to have a free consultation with me about how they can lose weight, no pressure on it. You jump on a 20-minute call with them, you deliver so much value. Out of those 20 calls, I've done it in the past, 15 of them at the end of the call go, how can I work with you? I need to work with you. Same way to work with you. So they're the 3 ways that I recommend nurturing. And then sales, we come to like, okay, how can we actually convert them from here into a sales call? Fuck ton of information. Just wanted to check in. Where are we with things? How you figure out things?
So you're basically saying don't bother that much with the funnel and the sales because you haven't exhausted your Instagram yet. Is that what you should take away from this?
Great question. So yes, what I'm saying is the funnel is Instagram.
Right.
Like you have tens of thousands of pounds sat in your Instagram right now. And you might think you need to run ads, you might think you need to go to Facebook, you might think you need to start with LinkedIn, all these things you can do. Just make £10,000 from your Instagram before we do anything else. And then we do everything else. Then we widen the funnel, we do different options. But your Instagram, like 12,000 followers, like people can, like, you know, I've done pretty good numbers with 6,000-7,000 followers. Like you've got plenty of people in your Instagram that will be there.
So if I today go into my Instagram and organise my mailbox, that's an absolute mess at the moment. It's important to get back to.
Yeah.
What do I do? I just like drop everyone a message and just start like, hey, thanks for the follow.
Yeah.
Thanks for being on here. What do you do? How do you navigate that conversation without sounding salesy?
Amazing. So without sounding salesy, you have to identify that they have this problem.
Okay.
There's a really cool framework which I like to use, which is called BANT.
Okay.
And this is the framework that I will use when you're texting people. Understand, do they have the budget?
Yeah.
Do they have the authority to make the decision?
Yeah.
Do they have the time?
Necessity
and the need. Yeah. Almost got the in there. So budget, authority, this is going to come up. So do they have those 4 things?
Yeah.
Budget, authority, need, time. Budget, you don't just ask them, do they have a certain amount of money? You work out like, do they have a well-paying job? Like, do they have a family? All those sort of things. Like, if I work out someone's a student, I know they're not going to have the budget for me. If I work out someone's an investment banker, I know they're easily going to have the budget for me. So it's like, just finding out a bit about it.
Do you know what somebody told me? Go onto your Instagram. I don't know if people are actually using this, but go onto your Instagram, go into your search, and then see, like, for example, look up, let's say, the top 5 gyms here. And then go into who's tagged themselves in that gym.
Genius.
Right?
Yeah, genius.
I can't remember if it was Gary Vee that talked about it. It was a piece of advice that they heard from him that shared with me. I was like, yeah, because in my mind, I'm immediately putting the limiting beliefs and saying, like, yes, my Instagram's got that following, it's great. But there are lots of people that are, like, let's say, male that are on that, or a lot of people that are not necessarily my niche. So I'm kind of limiting myself already immediately by saying, like, okay, that's a great number to have, but how many of them are actually my niche?
100.
And that's a good amount.
Out of 12k.
Yeah.
That's like a rough guess.
Yeah.
Do you think there's 100 people out of the 12k people that are your ideal client in that?
Yeah.
Must be.
Yeah.
Must be. Like, that's 1% of people, just under 1% of people.
Yeah.
Like, there's definitely that. So that's a great tactic for lead generation. So that's a great tactic for outbounding for random people. Don't need to do that yet. You've got tens of thousands of pounds in your Instagram right now.
We're going in circles. Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah. But I love that because what you've said is an amazing strategy and it works really well. But right now, you're in a perfect spot. You just need to get the people who are swimming around your Instagram right now
down the funnel.
Yeah. So don't worry about any of that. Instagram followers, these 3 to engage people who are in your Instagram following and then put it in the sales process.
Okay. So the conversation is, hey, thanks for the follow. Appreciate you being on here. What resonates with my content?
Something like that. What resonates with your content? Just so basically the simple flow is you've got to ask them a question after every single sentence. So it's like, oh, it's super interesting. And just keep the conversation going and going. And then we get to the sales process. So this is like how you turn someone from like engaging and speaking to you into being on a sales call. So yeah, the conversation flow to answer the question specifically is just asking them questions about their life and ticking off these 4 things.
Yeah.
Do they have the budget? So they've got a job that will be able to mean they can afford you.
Yeah.
Authority means are they in the decision-making process? Yeah. That's a bit of a hard one to do, but is it something you want to do? Is it like your decision? Yeah. For example, like for me, it's not so much a big thing for you, but like for me, being like business partners, people, it's not always the main decision for them.
Right.
The third thing is the need. This is the biggest one. Is like, do they actually have that problem?
Yeah.
And then the last one is time. Like, is this the right thing now? Do they want to change their way now? Do they want to turn it up? I have people who come to me who are like, I'd love to set an online business. I'd love to be a coach. And I'm like, do you actually want to do it now? Like, is this something you want to do now? And then all of this, finding this out, means that when you get to the sales process, everyone who turns up to your call is like the right person.
Yeah.
So once we've ticked all 4 of these off, and like it seems kind of weird to tick them off, but in general, it's just very much like just like asking questions. Once you're clear that they pass that test, then they're in the sales process.
So when I see you putting up the stories and things like that,
mm-hmm.
there's a really thin line of you selling on your stories.
Sure.
And you saying the right things.
Sure.
And this is what I'm struggling with at the moment. So I've been told that I stopped doing it, but with my stories, I was very much like, work with me, book a call. It doesn't work.
Mm-hmm.
It really doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
So I need to use a different strategy. And do you think that I need to use a different strategy of getting people?
So that's super interesting. I found the exact same thing.
Right.
People on stories, if you just say work with me, they're not interested.
No.
But that's where these 2 things come in. Because if someone answers a poll, that means they're engaged, which means you can turn them into someone who might be interested in working with you.
Mm-hmm.
If you do a lead magnet, then you give them free value in return for them entering the sales process.
Mm-hmm.
And they might not turn, they might just want a lead magnet, they might just be interested in a resource that you've got. But the roadmap call that I do is like, I'm going to give you the exact roadmap as to how you're going to build this business. And then after that, you then turn into a paying client because you're someone who's like has dropped on a call with me, is a client that is interested in dropping on a call with me. I give you the roadmap and then it becomes a no-brainer. So if your resources are good and if what you offer someone is good, then they're like, oh, Desi is actually really good. She's the person that's going to help me with this. Mm-hmm. So I would say instead of selling on your story, give away free opportunities for people to jump on calls with you.
Okay.
Or just engage, or jump on calls, or just give them the opportunity to get engaged with you. And then either way, this starts a conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And then the conversation flow is basically asking, do they have these problems?
Yeah.
If they have these problems, if they tick this list of budget, authority, lead time, that means you're ready to go and it's time to get them into the sales process. They are ready to do this. Love it. Okay, sales process. So the sales process is the fun part, but actually like very, very simple in theory, which is get them on what do you do now? What's your sales process now? So someone says to you, you're very clear that someone's your ICP, you want to work with them, what do you do with them?
Message them.
Nice.
Start conversation, ask questions, understand the struggles, and then try to get them on the call. And then go through my call kind of strategy and structure, and then offer them the coaching.
Lovely. Okay. And is that all in one call?
Yes.
Perfect. Okay, so first thing I would say is have 2 calls for that. So what I do is I have a qualification call and then I have an onboarding call. And the reason that works really well is because on this qualification call, which is like, we've worked out that they're this, we then go, do you want to drop on a 20-minute call where we have a bit of a chat about you as a person, I can introduce myself, we have a chat. That 20-minute call is a no sell call. You can say to them, I'm not going to try and sell you anything, it's just a call to chat.
Okay.
What you do is you provide so much value in that call that someone likes you, they get to know you, and then at the end of the call, you just go, that was really interesting, like I think I could really help you, no pressure, but if you want to jump on another call, what we can do tomorrow or the day after is we can go through exactly what it would look like working with me and exactly how I think I can help the problem that they've described when you're in this call.
Mm-hmm. At what point do you share the prices?
Not until the last bit here.
Okay.
The last bit here. So all of this is just assessing if there's someone that would work for you and what would want to work with you. All of that is done in this part here. So 20-minute call, no sale, just getting to know someone. I have like 10 of those booked tomorrow, just 20 minutes back to back to back to back. And it's just getting to know someone. At the end of that call, you might work out they're not someone you want to work with, and then it doesn't matter, right? You've wasted 20 minutes, nothing.
So the first call is just literally, is it, at what point is it video? What point
Still, I would do video the whole time. Video the whole time. Some people do like voice, but I think video is great because it builds a connection with someone.
Yeah.
And in that call, you're basically just repeating this part.
So this is the first call, just establishing really quickly.
Yeah.
How would you do it so that they, in a way where it doesn't, again, feel...
Do you want to jump on a call with me? Like, we can, I've got a few tips that I want to share. I've got a few, like, give them free value. This call is you giving back to the world of free value. Give that qualification call is just about you basically saying, I'm happy to jump on a call with you and give you everything I've learned from working with 10 clients, everything I've learned from my journey to basically help you in your weight loss journey.
And then you cover this at the very end of the call?
Yes.
Okay.
And then what we do is right at the end of the call, so you provide so much free value that by the end of the call, and it's beautiful how it works. I sometimes at the end of this call just go silent, and they go, that was so useful. So honestly, like, and they go, and it's always funny how they bring up. They always go, like, I've seen on Instagram that you run some sort of program. Like, I'd be interested to hear about that. And I'm like, there we go. That's proof in the pudding. And when you have people asking you about your program,
that's all wrong.
Amazing. Yeah. So that is why this call works really well, because as opposed to selling to someone, they sell themselves to you because you've provided so much free value.
But would you jump straight away telling them more about the coaching, or would you wait until the second call?
Second call. Okay. Nothing in this call is anything about selling them.
Even if they're pushing, they're like, I'm ready, let's talk about your program.
Let's chat about it another time, Mr. Prospect, Mrs. Prospect. I'm very keen to chat, but let's just do it like tomorrow because I want you to take the full time to think about things, and like this was only just a call. I didn't want to sell you anything on this call. This was just a call to have a chat about things.
Okay.
And the other reason why we do that is because of this thing called the pre-sale asset, which has been such a game changer for me. So every time before your call, you send someone a pre-sale asset. So that we've agreed on this call that we're going to have a chat. It needs to be no longer than a day or two in advance to keep it nice and warm as a lead.
Yeah.
I send them this video, which is like an unlisted YouTube video. Like, it's just a link. It's not available online. This asset goes through my whole program. Goes through everything. So it goes through like what it's like working with me, the results that I've got, what they can expect day to day, why they should work with me, everything.
Well, essentially the presentation. Yeah, I'll do that on the second call.
Amazing. So if you do this now, this call becomes an onboarding call as opposed to a sales call because they're sold in this part. And my closing rate is like 60% right now because everyone who turns up to this call has been already sold. Whereas if you tell them everything that's in here on this call, they're like, oh, I've got to think about it. Like, I've only just heard all this information. I don't have enough time to process it.
Right.
Whereas this does all the processing.
That's even logic. Do you mind sending me that video?
I can, 100%, and just copy the exact structure of it.
It kind of saves you from repeating yourself every...
Yeah.
Right.
Repeating yourself, pitching, and the best thing about this is like, in the sales process, there's things called objections, which I'm sure you've heard of, but like, basically the reasons that people are like, oh, I need to think about it, like, I'm not sure this is the right time, all of these things.
Yeah.
This objection handles all of that. So like, they turn up to the call and you've handled like, this is why you should act now. You've handled like, are you the authority person in this? Like, all of this is handled.
Would you check that they've actually sat there? Is it a long video? Would they?
It's like 7 minutes, and you would check by asking them.
Okay.
But just, you can't physically check that they've done it, but you can say it is super important that you watch this before our next call. And you say it on the end of this call, you just say, look, like, I'm going to book in a call with you. Right after this, I'm going to send you a link. Would you mind just spending 7 minutes? It's going to make, and just say it's a benefit to them, it's going to make this call much, much more interesting and useful for both of us. I don't want to waste your time.
So then when you get on the next call, you're like, hey, seen the video, have you got any questions at the back of it?
Yeah. So this next call,
Yeah.
you set up. So this next call is like, okay, thanks so much for dropping on. Very similar to a closing framework, but you just need to go back into their like dreams, where they want to achieve, what their goals are, what their weight loss is. Just remind them where they are and where they need to be. So remind them that they have the problem and remind them how you can fix it very quickly. Go back into basically everything you've discussed in this call. And then after we're like, okay, perfect. Have you got any questions? Just give it like a quick reminder of the program. So as you've seen from the video, we'll be doing this, we're doing this, we're doing this. It's all designed perfectly to get you to your aim, to get you to your goal. And then at the end of that, we're like, perfect, great, any questions? They're then going to give you all the questions that you need to answer. You answer them just like in a very casual way. And then that's when you say the price. And I've got a YouTube video on this whole call, so I can send that to you, like of exactly how to do this call. But effectively, the price should be the last thing, and you should have given them such a clear roadmap for them to achieve their goal that they're like, it doesn't matter. Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
And if for whatever reason they're very still a bit unsure or they're a bit need to think about it, do you pressure them on that call to make the decision?
I don't pressure because I know that what I can do is going to get them to their goal. I work them through their logic to unpick their logic if it's wrong. So when people say they need time to think about it, they don't need time to think about it because time is like decisions are only made with information, not time. So I just say to someone, okay, you need time to think about it. Decisions are made with information, not time. What else can I tell you about the program? And then that is when they say all the objections that they have with it. I don't think we're meeting regularly enough in the week, or I don't know if you're the right person to help me. Like anything someone says after the price as an objection is, unless they literally physically can't afford it, they do not have enough pounds in their bank account, then it is a reason why they don't believe you're the right person to work with.
And then kind of.
And then they either don't, or that is your time to be like, why don't you think that? So that's, and like, again, we could spend 3 hours talking about this call because it's like super important to objection handle, but like all of the excuses someone gives after you say the price are excuses or reasons that you've not delivered this part well enough.
Yeah.
And you will get objections. Like there's no way you say your price, and also your price shouldn't be that the people just go, yes, I'm doing it.
Yeah.
It should hurt, and they should have objections, but at the same time, all those objections can be handled by this process being good.
Yeah.
And then you get them to pay on the call. That's the last thing.
I never do that.
So you have to get people to pay on the call because people never ever pay. I have lost 100% of the clients on my own offer and other people's offer because people don't pay on the call.
How do you do that?
Get the Stripe link ready. How do people pay you Stripe, right? Get the Stripe link ready. Just say, look, it'd be amazing to have you onboarded. I can send you all the documents while we're on the call. I can say I'm buzzing to have you on board. All we need is the investment right now. People have dropped thousands of pounds right in front of me on the call, and it's terrifying to do that.
Yeah.
But you have to do that because if not, people will leave.
Yeah. Yeah, I hate the chasing after that. I always say at the beginning of the call as well. It's like, look, I don't want to, it's if it's a yes or no at the end of the call.
Great.
Like, yeah.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
That's a great line because that means that people have to make a decision, and what people hate is making decisions.
Yeah.
So I say to people, you either need to tell me no with your chest or yes with your chest, and I don't care which one it is, but it needs to be a confirmation that you're happy with that decision by the end of the call. And when they say yes, you're like, great, let's get you onboarded, let's not waste any time. I like to deliver value straight away. If we could just make the investment now, it'd be great, and then we move forward.
Yeah, no, I need to start doing that because it's a very painful process after that to be chasing, to be like, hey, when do we stand?
And no one ever does that. So like I absolutely hate that process, and the only way to do that is to say my policy is we onboard on the call. If not, we're not working together. And you can firmly say that because it's your business. You can do what you want. So yeah, that's super important because I've lost so many people. I've lost tens of thousands of pounds because of the fact that I've not got people to pay on the call, which hurts to say.
I've had that done to me, which is the reason why I'm a bit reluctant to do it to other people. I was on a call with this girl and she was very pushy and I didn't really like it. I really didn't enjoy it. She was like, I need to take some kind of deposit from you now. And I was like, well, I haven't really decided if I want to work with you or another girl because it was between two girls. I was thinking, And she was like, well, I need the deposit now. And she got a little bit of money from me, but I just thought like, obviously now that she's taken, I think it was like 50 quid or whatever. I was like, okay, well, I've clearly made it.
Sure.
But I didn't like it.
And that's because she hadn't sold you before. That's not like you still hadn't made the decision to say yes. When she was saying to you, this is the right time, can you pay money? It should be like of course I'm happy to pay money, I'm on board, of course I'm happy to do it, as opposed to like chasing it. If someone's reluctant to pay on the call, then they're not sold yet. And they will 100% not pay after. Because they're not going to leave the call and think about it for a day and decide that it's the right thing. If they haven't decided there and then, they won't pay you. So if someone is saying that they're not willing to put down money or a deposit now, that means you need to go back into the sales process. You need to go back into their desires, into their goals and all that sort of thing.
Right.
So yeah, that's that. But yeah, you don't have to pressure it. I present it as like, I take payment on the call because I don't want to chase you. I don't want you to have to think about this after the decision. I want you to end this call, have all the onboarding documents, be ready to go, and I want to book in a strategy call with you straight away to get you started.
Yeah.
But like paid is a benefit to them, and it is, because I don't want to be chasing people for 3 days. I want to give them value straight away.
Yeah.
And that comes back to like believing that you can do that and being like, yeah, I can give you value straight away. I just need you to give me the option, and that means investing. If they come up with a reason why they can't invest the money, get a deposit. Because my offer is a lot of money, but I get a deposit. If people are like, oh, my bank can't transfer that much money, if, all those sort of things, you just need someone to be financially committed in some way. And not like £10, like a good amount of money.
Yeah.
Amazing. That's the sales process.
Okay.
And that's everything. So I want you to, I'm going to very quickly go for what I think we've taken from it, and I want you to say, is that what you believe? Is that right?
Okay.
Actually, no, let's go the other way. So what are your takeaways from this?
So starting from the kind of the beginning point was, don't focus on the lower point, low ticket, focus on the high ticket.
Nice.
Run with that. Focus on the things that already work, so referrals and Instagram. And really kind of just niche it down as much as possible. With the content, everything that I do, make sure that I talk specifically to the right person in my Instagram. And then, just go through the structure, maybe change a few things in terms of how I do the onboarding or pre-sale.
Nice.
But yeah, focus on what works.
Amazing.
How would you say? How would you
I think you're spot on. I think that everything you said there is absolutely spot on. The thing I would just reiterate from what you said is we have thousands of pounds in your Instagram right now. Do not get shiny object about doing Facebook, about doing low tickets, about doing ads, about all this stuff. Focus on what you're doing. Refine it a little bit, because we can get more people coming down here, but just focus on keeping on where the river's running right now, and that is organic Instagram. Then getting people from here to here, just use these 3 things, get conversations going. You should feel like you're on your phone too much because of the fact you're on Instagram and you're texting people, but remember that's your business, it's not Instagram. Great.
If I have to break it down, so let's say, again, for my brain to comprehend this, and you're talking about money, right?
Sure.
So if I want to, in 2 weeks' time, talk to you and say I've got another 10 clients.
Yeah.
How do I get to the 60 client? What does that look like in terms of the sales process? How many people do I need to talk to? How many conversations? How do I make sure that what is the aim? When you're saying sending DMs endlessly, what's the target?
So it's a great question. The target is to get people to the next stage of your sales process. So every time the target of this point is to get someone from here to here. The target is to get someone from being an Instagram follower to being someone who's an engaged person you're nurturing.
I guess, what does that look like per day? So what's my minimum? What do I need how many people do I need to talk to per day? And how do I know that if I'm talking to, let's say, 10 people a day and I'm not getting any calls?
Yeah.
What is it that I'm doing wrong?
So if you're speaking to 10 people a day and you're not getting any calls, I would say 20 messages a day you should be sending to people in your following.
20 a day.
20 a day.
Okay.
Then you see what works and what doesn't work. if that works, you just need to increase that number. So like, it's the same as this, like you just break the numbers down. So if you send 20 at the top here, 5 people reply, 3 people jump on calls, then if you increase this number to 40, then we're going to get 6 people jumping on calls.
Okay.
But I think 20 a day is a good way to start. And then I'd say putting out a lead magnet a week, and then putting out a poll a week.
Okay.
But again, those numbers can all be flexed and increased, but if you want tangibles, then that is what I'd say. And we'll just see what the numbers look like. That's what's super important to track your data. So I've got like, if you can track it in some way, like track the amount of like qualification calls you're having, track the amount of sales calls you're having, then we work out with 12,000 followers, sending 20 messages a day, posting a bit of content a day, we then get 6 sales calls and 3 clients. So what do we need to do? Do we need to double this number, or is this number great and we just need to double the amount of like polls we put out there? That's really important. But for you, 20 messages a day would be good.
10 messages a day. 10 will reply, 3 potentially get on call, 1 lead magnet a week, and 1 poll a week. To begin with.
And then we see how it goes. For example, you might find out that when you put out a poll and everyone you message from that poll, they all seem to be super engaged. Keep doing polls. For me, putting out my roadmap free 20-minute call, I put 25 calls off that. Like that's for 7,000 followers, that's great numbers.
That's really well.
So I'm doing that every week now, like maybe even twice a week, because that is booking me clients in. So you just are testing out what works and then doubling down on that. Right now, we don't have a clear enough idea of what gets people from nurturing to the sales process. So we just need to try out a lot of these different variations and then double down when it works.
And track everything on a sheet.
That's ideal. I'll be honest with you, like when someone says that to me, I'm like, for fuck's sake, that's an absolute pain in the arse. You don't have to be super scientific about it, but I just spent a whole weekend with a load of entrepreneurs and they had 20 figures up here. It was like call rate, booking rate, sales rate, all of these things. And I was like, I'm way off this. I need to be doing more of that.
Do you have these sheets by any chance?
They have all of them. I'm tracking them. It's very simple. Like you just have. In fact, I do have them. That's a lie. I do have them. I can send them to you. I actually do have them, so I can send them to you. It's a bit of a pain in the arse, but it's super important because we just need to work out where the river is firm.
Yeah.
And then just keep that.
But it's the same with ads, right? Not a lot of people actually track their ads, but then how do you actually know what's working, what's not? How much your ad is taking over a curve?
And that's the same with every single part of this process. What works, what doesn't work, what works, keep doing more.
Yeah. Amazing.
Nice.
Thank you so much.
That was so fun.